Picture this, a groundbreaking tale of a female Army officer who shatters glass ceilings by becoming the first woman to tackle U.S. Navy SEAL training. While her superiors doubt her, she proves them all wrong, passing the test, as many of her male counterparts throw in the towel. Our story kicks off in the halls of power, where a Senate Armed Service Committee is grilling retired Army officer Theodore Hayes for the Navy Secretary position. The hot topic? The limited roles women play in the Navy. As Hayes fumbles through a weak defense, enter Senator Lillian DeHaven from Texas, who's not having any of it. DeHaven swoops in, armed with a secret weapon, the classified Lark Report. She drops copies on everyone's desk like truth bombs. This explosive document is packed with shocking statements from top Navy brass, painting women soldiers as less capable and riddled with sexist comments. The fallout is immediate. The Navy scrambles for damage control, calling for a private powwow with DeHaven, but don't think the Department of Defense is rolling over. They've cooked up a scheme to derail DeHaven's push for equality. Their sneaky plan? They'll let a woman join if she can pass any Navy evaluation program. Sounds fair, right? Wrong. DeHaven sees right through their trick. They'll pick the toughest program to set the female cadet up for failure. But here's the twist. DeHaven agrees anyway. Why? Because win or lose, this high-stakes challenge will boost her career. Picture the scene. DoD officials huddled with Hayes outside the Senate office, cooking up their next move. Their target? The U.S. Navy Combined Reconnaissance Team, CRT program, a beast that chews up and spits out 60% of candidates before week 4. The third week, aptly nicknamed Hell Week, is where dreams go to die. These guys are rubbing their hands together, convinced no woman could survive even the first 7 days. Now let's zoom across to a naval satellite monitoring room. Meet Lieutenant Jordan O'Neill, a whiz-kid topographic analyst. She's in the hot seat trying to bring home a SEAL team from a war zone gone silent. While one official suggests sending backup, a snail-paced 18-minute rescue, O'Neill's got other ideas. Quick as a flash, she proposes a curveball, change the pickup point entirely. Her logic? These seasoned SEALs aren't sitting ducks, they're hunting for safer exits. O'Neill's eyes dart across satellite images, and bam! She spots a new rescue site that'll slash rescue time in half. They green-light her plan, and wouldn't you know it? 9 minutes later, the SEAL team pipes up from exactly where O'Neill called it. Crisis averted! Meanwhile, Senator DeHaven's playing a high-stakes game of pick the perfect candidate. She's thumbing through files like a matchmaker on a mission. The triathlete, too lean. The powerlifter, too buff. DeHaven's not looking for Wonder Woman. She wants to prove that any woman, yes, even your average Jane, can cut it in the Navy. Then jackpot, her eyes land on Lieutenant Jordan O'Neill's file. Olympic triathlon contender? Check. Academic superstar? Double check. And the clincher. She's got that girl next door look DeHaven's after. In DeHaven's mind, O'Neill's the golden ticket to proving women don't need bulging biceps to be Navy material. After her high-stakes day at work, Lieutenant O'Neill meets up with her fiancé, Lieutenant Commander Royce Harper. He's all smiles about her quick thinking, but can't help playing the worry ward. Stick to your lane, he warns, reminding her she's an intelligence officer, not a soldier. Talk about a buzzkill. But hold up, O'Neill's phone buzzes. It's a summons from Senator DeHaven herself. Next thing you know, O'Neill's in the senator's office, staring at papers for the CRT program. DeHaven lays it out. If O'Neill can crack this, she'll be kicking down doors for women in the Navy. No pressure, right? Back home, O'Neill spills the beans to Royce, but instead of high fives, she gets a bucket of cold water. Royce starts listing off reasons why it's a bad idea. Potential injuries, living with a bunch of guys, long deployments. The kicker? He drops the bomb that he might not stick around if she's gone too long. Ouch. But here's the thing, Royce's doubts don't deflate O'Neill. Nope, they light a fire under her. She's not just going to prove him wrong, she's going to prove everyone wrong. So, she signs up for CRT, determination blazing in her eyes. Fast forward to training day. The commanding officer shows O'Neill to her room, a private pad away from the guy's dorm, but word spreads like wildfire. There's a woman in their ranks, and boy, some of these dudes are not happy campers. Dinner time rolls around, and O'Neill walks into a mess hall that suddenly feels more like a lion's den. The air's thick with scorn and sexist remarks. But our girl? She's not backing down. This is just the first hurdle in her race to make history. Let's give this section a more engaging spin. Day 1 of training hits like a freight train. The commanding officer doesn't sugarcoat it. Most won't survive the notorious third week. Enter Command Master Chief John Ergale, the human equivalent of a grizzly bear. Gender equality? He's got it. He's equally terrifying to everyone. As he inspects uniforms, he drops a DH. Lawrence poem, self-pity. Message received, no room for crybabies here. The training kicks off with a bang, or rather a splash. Trainees learn to haul military-grade boats to sea and bail out faster than you can say sink or swim. What follows is a physical gauntlet that'd make Hercules wince. Ergale's not shy about encouraging quitters. There's a bell front and center, just begging to be rung. 3 chimes and you're out. O'Neill's getting no special treatment, but the guys? They're serving up sexism like it's the daily special. Nighttime brings no relief. Dinner becomes a 4-minute frenzy. Imagine piranhas at a buffet, but just as they're about to dig in, surprise. It's back to training, stomachs growling. Talk about a cruel joke. The next day, rinse and repeat, with a side of hypothermia as they brave icy waters. Finally, after medical checks, they're rewarded with yesterday's trash can dinner. Lovely. But our girl O'Neill, she's playing it smart, smuggling bread like a pro and wolfing down whatever she can get. Just when they think they can relax, Ergale throws a curveball. Write an essay on joining the Navy. Sounds easy, right? Wrong. It's a trap, with Ergale playing opera music to lull them to sleep. Doze off, and you're out. But O'Neill's secret weapon, that smuggled bread, keeps her eyes wide open and her pen moving. Through it all, O'Neill's not just surviving, she's proving that grit comes in all genders. This isn't just training, it's her shot at making history. The clock ticks for 15 minutes, then bam, John's back barking orders. It's obstacle course time, with a twist, live fire. Talk about high stakes. O'Neill's offered a leg up, literally. They want to give her platforms to help with the jumps, but our girl's not having it. Treat me like everyone else, she demands. Too bad the rule book's not on her side. Women get lower obstacles. It's policy, not preference. Watch O'Neill though, she's blazing through the course, platforms be damned. At the wall climb, she's a human stepping stone, boosting her teammates up. But when it's her turn, crickets. These guys still can't swallow the idea of a woman in their boys' club. As the brutal 20-hour days grind on, it's like watching dominoes fall. Trainees are dropping like flies, but O'Neill, she's still standing, tough as nails. That platform business still sticks in her craw though, so she marches up to the commanding officer looking for fair treatment. Instead, she gets a face full of sexism. Message received. She's not welcome here. O'Neill's response, a trip to the barber, bye-bye feminine locks. Next stop, the guy's dorm. She's moving in, tampons and all. Most of the men are about as thrilled as cats in a bathtub. Command Master John catches wind of O'Neill's rebellion. Let's just say he's not exactly throwing her a welcome party. Through it all, O'Neill's not just fighting the obstacles, she's fighting the system, stereotypes, and a whole lot of fragile egos. This isn't just training anymore, it's a one-woman revolution. Cut to Hayes, now the big cheese, Secretary of Navy, but he and his DoD buddies are squirming. Why? Our girl O'Neill's not just surviving, she's thriving. 3 weeks in and she's become a media darling. They're calling her G.I. Jane, a faceless hero for the masses. Back at boot camp, it's like they've cranked the difficulty to 11. But G.I. Jane, she's not just keeping up, she's leveling up. Every sexist sneer fuels her fire. The results? She's sculpting herself into a lean, mean fighting machine. Meanwhile, news vultures are circling, hungry for a scoop on the mystery woman defying the odds. Picture this, O'Neill alone in the shower. In walks Command Master, dropping a bombshell. Her senior teammate out with a busted leg. Suddenly, she's not just a trainee, she's the team leader. Talk about a plot twist. Over in the suit's corner, Hayes and his cronies are pulling their hair out. O'Neill's not just survived Hell Week, she's giving the guys a run for their money, but they're banking on SEER training, survival, evasion, resistance, and escape, to break her. SEER kicks off like a twisted game of hide and seek. Trainees are airdropped into the unknown. The mission? Recon and retreat. But this isn't paintball in the woods. If you're caught, you're treated like a real POW. No kid gloves here. Disaster strikes. 2 of O'Neill's team get nabbed for ignoring her orders. Another snaps his leg in a mad dash for safety. O'Neill, trying to play hero, ends up in enemy hands too. Here's where it gets ugly. These officers aren't playing nice. They're going full-on torture mode, even on the guy with the broken leg. It's not about training anymore. It's about breaking spirits and spilling secrets. The interrogation room. O'Neill, hands bound, face-to-face with Command Master John. This isn't training anymore. It's pure brutality. John's fists fly, and when another officer tries to intervene, John shuts him down cold. Suddenly, John drags O'Neill outside. In full view of everyone, he waterboards her in ice-cold water. His goal? Break her teammates. But O'Neill, gasping and shivering, orders them to stay strong. John, pushing the envelope, starts tearing at her clothes, justifying it as real-world prep. But O'Neill's not done. In a burst of fury, she fights back, landing solid hits. John retaliates, knocking her out, as he turns to her teammates, spewing nonsense about women in combat. O'Neill, dazed but defiant, hurls an insult that would make a sailor blush. The mood shifts. Suddenly, her male teammates are cheering her on, hurling their own colorful suggestions at John. In this bizarre, intense moment, O'Neill's done it. She's turned a bunch of skeptics into a united team. Even John can't help but respect that. Word spreads like wildfire. G.I. Jane conquered SEER. Senator DeHaven's over the moon. Back at camp, O'Neill's no longer an outsider. She's one of the guys. But just when things are looking up, bam, another curveball. Someone snaps secret photos of O'Neill with her female friends at the beach. Next thing she knows, she's being grilled about her sexuality. The brass calls it a disgrace, and just like that, she's sidelined pending investigation. O'Neill's furious. She smells a rat. Someone's trying to derail her. The kicker? If she's cleared, she'll have to start the whole brutal process from square one. Everything she's endured, every drop of sweat and blood, at risk of being for nothing. Now O'Neill's facing a new battle, not against physical limits or prejudice, but against shadowy forces trying to erase her hard-won progress. In a moment of pure frustration, O'Neill does the unthinkable. She rings that bell 3 times. Game over, or so it seems. Back home, her fiancé drops a bombshell. Those incriminating photos, they came from Senator DeHaven's office. Plot twist. The very woman championing O'Neill's cause was secretly orchestrating her downfall. DeHaven's grand plan: use O'Neill as a pawn in a high-stakes political chess game, trading her success for military base protection in Texas. O'Neill confronts DeHaven, who initially plays dumb, but when pushed, the senator's mask slips. She admits to using O'Neill for political gain, cold as ice. But O'Neill's not going down without a fight. She threatens to blow the whistle, expose the whole sordid affair to the press. It's a gutsy move that pays off. Next thing you know, O'Neill's back in training. Her teammates, they welcome her like a returning hero. It's a new day, and the final phase of training looms large. But hold up, a life's about to throw another curveball. Just as they're gearing up for the final push, real-world chaos intervenes. A satellite loaded with weapons-grade plutonium has crash-landed in the Libyan Desert. The Army Rangers sent to retrieve it are now stuck, their evacuation plan in shambles. Suddenly, our trainees are thrust into a real-life, high-stakes mission. It's not just about passing a test anymore, it's about preventing a potential nuclear disaster and saving their fellow soldiers. O'Neill and her team are about to face their ultimate test. Can they use everything they've learned to pull off a miracle in the desert? Will O'Neill finally prove, once and for all, that she belongs? O'Neill finds herself in a tight spot, nearly caught by a Libyan soldier. John, thinking fast, takes out the soldier to protect her. But their cover's blown. The Libyan patrol catches wind of the US military on their turf, and things get messy real quick. A full-on clash erupts between the two sides. John James has no choice but to split from his team. Here's where it gets interesting. O'Neill, sharp as a tack, spots something off about the team's map. She realizes Master Chief isn't taking the route everyone expects. He's heading the wrong way, and boy, is he in hot water. But don't worry, folks, O'Neill's got this. With the big boss out of the picture, she steps up to the plate. And let me tell you, she knocks it out of the park. Her leadership skills, top-notch. Her strategy, brilliant. She swoops in to save Master Chief, who's in a pretty pickle. With her teammate McCool, O'Neill pulls off a daring rescue, yanking Master Chief out of a deadly explosives lane. Talk about a close call. Just when things are looking dicey, backup swoops in. Helicopter gunships arrive, bringing the heat for the final push. And guess what? Mission accomplished. Everyone who put their neck on the line for this rescue gets the nod for CRT. Now here's the cherry on top. In the last scene, Command Master John James Ergale does something pretty special. He hands O'Neill his Navy Cross, along with a book of poetry. Inside, a short poem called Self-Pity by D.H. Lawrence. It's his way of saying, "You did good, kid. Thanks for saving my bacon."